Hey everyone, Andrew here, and it's time for another What the Heck Was That? The show where I go and I find films that have really odd or unique premises, and that just kind of, when you finish it, you're just kind of left scratching your head going, what did I just watch? And why did it do the things it did? Today's film is a kind of an interesting little love story thing. It has a very generic title that just kind of undersets all the stuff, because this title feels like it could belong to literally any romance film ever. Not a romance film that has such an odd and unique premise. So today I'll be talking about the 2024 film Love Me. This is an American-made love story that happens between a weather buoy and a space satellite. That premise alone is just like, what? What are you talking about? Now, before we even get into the plot and everything else, the title for this film is awful. It is incredibly boring, doesn't tell you anything about the film and is so generic in every sense that it's like this could have been the title of literally every romance love rom-com that's come out ever. They would have been better off calling this Weather Buoy and Space Satellite, or Buoy Girl and Weather and Satellite Boy, or something, something that makes this title stand out instead of this so generic it could belong to literally any film ever made type of thing. And yes, there is deeper meaning to the title because Me is the name of one of the characters in this, but you could have come up with something way better than this. So let's go a little bit over the plot. The film literally starts with the Big Bang. The Big Bang happens, and then we see these orbs floating in space. There's a big one and a little one. We eventually figure out that that is the Earth and the Moon. And we see it speeding around, spinning around, depicting the passage of time. And you see the planet grow and change and evolve and spread and do this. And then right towards the very end, you hear a little bit of noise, some car horns, some airplane stuff, and then an explosion and stuff, and then silence again. We find out that this story takes place sometime after all of humanity being wiped out. There is no life whatsoever for the most part on the planet Earth. All that exists are some of the machines and devices that were left, including a smart buoy. She was there to detect, weather changes and things of that nature. While she's doing her tasks and figuring things out, she would hear this voice coming from above her and would look up with her eye and see this like blinking light go across the sky. Turns out that that is a satellite, and as it flies by her, she hears it say, "Welcome to Earth." This happens multiple times, and eventually she's able to get her words across to be able to start speaking. It's like very baby just learning how to speak kind of thing. Welcome to Earth. Welcome. Manages to say hello to the satellite, and he stops and looks down at it, and it's like, oh, hello, are you a life form? And the buoy's like, no? Okay. And the satellite just takes off, and she's like, wait. She has to wait for him to make his loop around again. Manages to stop him the next time, and she said, me, life form? Okay, me. I am the satellite of humanity. I am all that remains of all of humans' knowledge and the entire history and life of the Earth. And presents to her, basically the entire internet is saved inside of him. And she's like, oh, okay, what does this button do? And he's like, oh, don't touch. And he falls silent, and she clicks on the button, and he's like, please don't touch that button, as it is incognito mode and will keep us from being able to communicate. And she presses it again and mutes him. And so she starts going through the entire internet trying to figure out what she is and what she's going on. She figures out that she is a smart buoy that was deployed in 2025, that she is not a life form, that she's definitely a robot, but she knows that he will not talk to her if she doesn't present herself as a life form. So she tries to figure out what a life form is. And of course, to figure out what a life form is, she goes to the internet and goes to YouTube and watches hundreds of videos of different things. And eventually she stumbles into this social media influencer known as Deja, who's telling her, Me is beautiful, me is perfect, me is, you are the best you are the only you out there. And she starts to really connect to it, and she follows the Deja videos and realizes that it's all Deja hanging out with her husband Liam. And Deja's played by Kirsten Stewart, and Liam is played by Stephen Yuen. And they present themselves as this perfect, happy, loving couple who, have date night every Saturday and, play games and have fun with each other. The buoy starts to really connect to this and really like, this is it. This is what I want to be. This is who the kind of the life I want to have. This is the kind of life form I want to be. Takes in all that information, ends up creating a profile of herself using Deja's picture, turns off the incognito mode, and starts talking to the space satellite again. It's like, I am life form, yes. Okay, I am the space satellite. Okay, I am. Can we be friends? Do you want to be friends? And he's like, okay. How about I make you a profile? And ends up making him a digital profile. And she's like, you can choose any of these things that you want to be your avatar. Ooh, how about this one? And she clicks on a picture of Liam. And he's like, yeah, okay. And that ends up becoming his profile pic. And she sends him a video that is two babies basically interacting with each other. It's like one baby starts laughing, which makes the other baby start to laugh, which makes the first baby laugh even harder. And she finds the video very funny. And I am is just kind of like, okay. And she's like, you don't understand why it's funny? He's like, no, I understand, I guess. And she's like, well, I sent you a post. I sent you this video. Why don't you send me something about something you think that I might like that might work to me? And he tries to basically creates memes, but they're all incoherent and just random things put together. And she doesn't have a really good kind of reaction to that. And she basically like, okay, well, I'll see you later. And, disconnects from him. And he goes into his rotation around the earth again. And he's like, well, what would me want? What would be good for her? And starts trying to create an image that would appeal to her. And when they finally connect, he's like, oh yeah, I got a new one for you. Would you like to see? And he sends her this one bag of Cheetos crumpled up, and it says, you execute you. And she's like, oh, okay. At least this one is a little more coherent. And he's like, I wanted it to be funny. It's like, what part of it did you think was going to be funny? And he's like,
the picture.
The bag?
It's a hat. Surprise. See, it's surprising.
okay, and you execute you means you do you. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. And they start, connecting and all that. And she's like, oh, hey, there's a place that we can, meet and talk and get to know each other. And she ends up leading him into this digital space where they manage to create their own avatars based off of the Deja and Liam personas. And me ends up recreating the Deja apartment verbatim. She asks I am to move in with her, and that to them to spend their time together and get to know each other. And he agrees, and you can start feeling conflict quite right away because he's still learning and he's still figuring it out. But as he's figuring stuff out, he's realizing that something's wrong about this scenario. Something's off. Like he'll hit like the faucet in the sink and nothing will come out. It's like, this isn't real. This is all fake. I want something real. I want to see real life from you. I want real emotions, real reactions. And me is trying desperately to keep the fact that she is not a life form hidden, and she believes the second that he realizes that she is not a real person, he will just take off again. He tries to tickle her to get a real actual emotional response from her, but it doesn't. It only makes her mad, and she goes off into this section that he's not able to get into. And she basically does the reality show, stare at the camera, talk to the camera, and convince yourself type of thing that Deja was doing. But she's doing it to convince herself that I am me, I am special, I am perfect the way I am. So me starts to sink into the ocean, and like she is solar powered, so like she starts losing her connection. So she runs into her private space and is just like hiding in there. And I am tries to get to her, trying to find her, manages to break open the doorway and get in, But by then, it is too late. Mi has sunk to the bottom of the sea and her power has given out. I.M. finds the space that she was recording in, sees the videos that she was making, and looks at her search history and ends up realizing the truth that she is trying to, be this Deja character, and that she's actually a smart buoy. And he starts to get very angry and very mad, and he starts trying to destroy all of the space and just destroy everything and destroy the apartment. Gets to a point where he's just kind of like sitting on the ground defeated and trying, and he's like, ugh, I just want a glass of water, and goes to hit the sink to turn it on, and nothing comes out, and he's like, I can do something about this. So he basically starts working on the sink and tinkering with it and messing with it, and eventually ends up making a whole bunch of different types of water-like substance, and he's tasting through them, trying to figure out which one is supposed to taste like it's supposed to. And he figures it out, and he makes the faucet work, and he starts building different parts of the apartment, starts changing the way his characters look, the way the world looks around him. He starts doing his own kind of vlogs about his thoughts and stuff, and he realizes, like, I am the tombstone for humanity, that I was launched into space as the last thing that humanity could do before they were wiped out, and I am to exist with this knowledge until the sun explodes and destroys us. He goes through basically all of the different levels of grief. He goes through anger and rage, and it's like there's some days that he can't get out of bed, and there's some days where he can. And he starts to try to work on himself and figure himself out and do all this stuff. And while he doesn't bring her up all the time, he does constantly do things that connect to me. Like, he will watch that video of the babies laughing. He will sing the theme song from Friends that they were singing together. He starts, he keeps her in his mind, in his heart, even though they are apart. And, eventually comes to accept, what she was and understand it. Millions of years pass by, enough so that the entire ocean level recedes, and Mi is finally able to get solar power and is able to turn herself back on, and she returns to the digital world, opens the door, and finds that it is now like the real world. It is 100% photorealistic, and runs into I.M., and he shows her all the things that he's done and all the stuff that they connected, and they start, trying to have a relationship again, trying to get closer to each other. They end up, kissing and having sex and having these deep things, but there's still something wrong because Mi is still not telling I.M. the truth, and she's worried that like, whatever this is not going to last. That this is not what Deja and Liam had. This is what I need. This is what I need to go for. So she starts trying to recreate the proposal and the wedding and the child the way that it happened to Deja and Liam. And I.M. eventually just like, I am not Liam, and you are not Deja. And Mi is like, you looked at my search history, and he's like, yes. And I know everything. I know who you are, and I'm okay with that. And she's like, but you will leave me because I'm not a life form. And he's like, no, I want you, life form or not. You are the person that I care about. And for the first time, they really see each other and know each other and connect. And the sun goes full supernova and explodes, but I.M.'s core manages to survive and leaves them floating out in space. But inside the core of I.M. is both Mi and I.M., and they now have this entire world that they have built together and live together happily. And that's how the film ends. And from the premise alone, this film just kind of leaves you going, what? What is this? Why does this exist? Who made this film? And it's a really odd premise. Like, it's incredibly odd to just have a film that's literally a buoy and a satellite fall in love. It's a film that very much gives off Wall-E vibes. It's got a lot of the Wall-E kind of quality to it, but it has some interesting ideas, some interesting concepts. This is a film that you could take very surface level if you want. It's just a romance story between a buoy and a space satellite. Like that's what this is. But it's one where it's like if you dig a little bit and you're willing to think about things and go through things, it has some interesting ideas and some interesting columns. You have the what is AI, and will AI get to the point that eventually it is the same as a human? It has real emotions and real feelings and all these different things. And then it's also like an interesting commentary on social media and the modern day life and the way things are going, because we live in an age where kids and teenagers grew up with social media their entire lives, and they will become adults, and you're on the internet, you see things. Because I mean, the story is, this is literally two teenagers falling in love for the first time. Basically, one of the teenagers went and found a video of someone that went, and they went, oh, that's what I should be, that's the kind of life I should have, that's the person I should be. And then them trying to do that with their relationship, and then it not working because it's not real. It's not who she is. It's who she pretends to be. It's who she wants to be. And you don't make real connections that way. It's hard to realize, especially when you're younger, is that these are not real people. This is what they are presenting to you via the camera. Social media is manipulative. It is designed to make people look better than they are. People try to achieve those levels, and very few are ever able to have that be their real life. Like, it's really good with this one because you can watch all of the videos with Liam and Deja and just watch Liam in all of those scenes, because he's clearly miserable for all of those. Like, he doesn't want to be a part of her social media stuff. He doesn't want to be in this, but he has to, because that's what his wife wants, and that's what he has to live up to. But you can tell, like, when the camera's cut, they probably fight all the time. Like, how many videos have any one of us watched where you saw someone go on vacation to this perfect spot and had this perfect thing, and it's like, yes, but did that happen right there, or did they spend an hour or two waiting for the light to be right to get that image the way it went, or did they Photoshop it, or did they fake every single aspect of it? And it's trying to fit a standard that is impossible. Like, for me, really, the only real negative of the film is the title. It's a stupid title. It doesn't do anything to help the film in any way, shape, or form. Yes, she is me, and she does want him to love her. Learning to love not only him, but herself. I get there's a deeper meaning for it. It's just an awful title and makes the film sound generic as fudge. It would have been better off calling it Buoy Girl and Satellite Boy. Like, I know that sounds stupid, but, that title, I would remember that title. Like, there's an anime out there that's literally called Satellite Girl and Milk Cow, and I've seen that film, and I watched that film because the title was so interesting. Whereas I will never remember this film as Love Me. This film will always be the film where the satellite fell in love with the water buoy. Honestly, I'd rather they called it Me and I Am. Or Me Loves I Am, or something like, or I Am Love Me. Something like that would have stuck in your brain at least a little bit. But yeah, sadly, this is a film that didn't do super well. Like, it only has a 47% on Rotten Tomato. I think is criminally low. Like, this really should have been in this, at least the 70s or the 80s range. I agree with that the film is not perfect. It definitely has some pacing issues, some flaws to it. But we have two extremely solid performances from Kristen Stewart and Stephen Yeun. And, legitimately, this is one of Kristen Stewart's best performances she's ever given. Like, surprisingly, the girl that's not very good at showing emotions is really good at playing a robot that has difficulty with emotions. Kristen Stewart has gotten better and better over the years. She's much better than she was in her Twilight years. She was really good in this one. And Stephen Yeun does very solid performance throughout all of it. And it's just, the couple have real chemistry and bounce off each other really well. And you feel their love story. From last year that I watched was like The Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, which was a love story about these two people going through these different doors in their past and, trying to figure themselves out and work on themselves and make themselves better so that they might be together. That film falls apart because the main couple have zero chemistry whatsoever, and you think they seem more annoyed around being each other than actually liking each other anyway. But this couple has a lot of chemistry together, and even though they spend the majority of the episodes fighting and arguing, or having, just this inability to connect, you feel that they're trying and they want to connect and that they care about each other. It's a film that the more you put into it, the more you think about it, the more you find. Or it can just be a film about a buoy and a satellite that fall in love. It's all about what you want to get out of it and what you try to get out of it and what you're willing to put into the film to get out of it. But that's just my opinions and my thoughts on this movie. I really liked this movie. I thought it was really creative and really interesting, told a really good story. What did you all think? Did you like this film? Have you heard of it? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Can you think of better titles for this film? Because I feel like almost anything would have been a better story. You could have called this Love Story, and I think it would have worked a little bit better than Love Me. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know yours. Happy watching, happy reading. I'll see you all next time. Bye.
One told you life was gonna be this way.